Okay, so with lesson number 3, I designed this lesson because of when you're a beginner, a lot of the time you're really just in this first position down here on the guitar, and we got all this area that we can use. So I try and get students to kind of move around the guitar as soon as possible. So with this lesson, the right hand is no different to what we done in lesson 2. So the right hand's already been covered, the same thing. The left hand is going to move around, but we're going back to just one string and one finger at a time. Okay, lesson 2, remember, we had to hold a note with one finger whilst playing other notes. We're going to simplify this lesson by keeping the melody on string number 1, but the difficult part comes in moving around the guitar. But that's where our fret markers come into play, which is going to make it easier to move around. But that's enough of me talking. Let's get on with the lesson. So when you first start off with guitar lessons, for a long time you tend to be in this area down here. So what I like to do with students is just kind of get them moving around the guitar a little bit more. Now that would be quite difficult if we're using multiple strings, but we're just going to stick with string 1 for our melody. Okay, so we don't have to worry about the other strings with our left hand. I mean, our right hand is still going to be picking a pattern, so that's still going on, a repetitive pattern. But this is just to get you to move around a little bit and kind of break away from this kind of first position. So we're going to start off up on fret 7. Now again, I know this is harder to see because classical guitar, no frets, fret markers, but I have a fret marker up here on fret 7, so trust me, that's your fret 7. Okay, and we're going to have this picking pattern that we done earlier, where it's this. So that's the same picking pattern from lesson 2. Okay, and it's going to be the same idea where we're descending. Remember, lesson 2 was this. The same idea, but we're just going higher up. So I'm going to be doing fret 7, and then fret 5, okay, so fret 7, fret 5, fret 3. Let me do that one more time. It doesn't matter what finger you move, like you could use finger 3, well you should use finger 3 here. And if you wanted to, you could move finger 3 down and then finger 1. I tend to use finger 3, switch to finger 1, and then move finger 1. Okay, so that's our first part. Next phrase, we're continuing with fret 3, the same picking pattern in the right hand, and we're going to be playing this, which is actually what we used in lesson 2. There's 2 ways you can do this. The first phrase we ended with finger 1, so you could think, oh, you know what, I may as well just keep finger 1 there and just slide it down. In the recording, I actually switched to finger 2 and then I used finger 1. So I played this in the recording. Switch. you could do this. Slide. That's fine too, whatever's more comfortable. So, we're going to go to our A string, just like we have done with the other two lessons. But we're going to go a little bit higher, and we're going to go to fret 8. Now I'm going to use my pinky here, and I recommend you do that too. Again, we want to use our pinky as much as possible so it's just as comfortable as the other fingers. So my pinky is on fret number 8, and the pattern or melody is going to be fret 8, C, fret 7, B, and then finger 1 on fret 5, the A. And I'm using finger 4, 3, 1. A lot of players will be tempted to use finger 3, 2, and then stretch into finger 1, or finger 3, slide, finger 1. But I do urge you, to really try and use your pinky. Okay. And then after that we go what we had earlier. Same thing, but instead of the E string, it's the A string. So instead of string 6, it's string 5. And again, as I said before, I'm using finger 2, 1, open. You could use finger 1, slide, open. Up to you. So I'm going to piece that together. I'm going to play it pretty quick just to get through it. So you can actually alternate between those two and it will sound nice, but at some point your ear is going to want to hear something different. Like with the previous lessons, my thumb is coming down to string 4 for the open D. And again, it's a little bit different to what we've done before. The melody line would be this. And with the picking pattern, it sounds like this. Okay, so let me quickly talk you through this. So finger 2 on fret 2 at F sharp, we have our picking pattern. Finger 2 on fret 3 for the descending part. And then back to fret 2. Okay. And now we're going to ascend. 2 on G, fret 3. Now here I use my pinky at fret 5 for the last part. Again, just want to get used to using that pinky. But if you wanted to, at this section, you could do this. You could just move finger 2 and that would sound nice as well, okay? There's pros and cons. Like if you use your pinky, yes, it's a bit difficult to get used to using that pinky, so it feels a bit weird to control. But if you use finger 2, finger 2's middle finger's nice and solid. It's a comfortable finger to use, but then you have that movement going up, to fret 5. It's very easy to kind of go too far or not enough. I like using the pinky. But I'm sure when I play this, sometimes I use my pinky, sometimes I move up. So whatever's comfortable for you at the moment. And that will bring us back to what we started with, but of course we've got to think of an ending, and it goes like this. So it actually starts off the same way as the first part of this exercise. Again, I'm doing a rallentando, I'm slowing down towards the end, you know, because we want the listener to know that we're coming to the end of the song. And then one thing we haven't done yet is we're playing the strings together. My thumb is on string 6, my index, middle and annular are on their assigned strings that we've been using, and you just put them on the strings and you pluck them together. So it's just a nice way. Sometimes I would ripple the chord, but rippling the chord is a lot harder than what it sounds. You're basically playing your thumb and then index, middle, annular, one after the other, but very quickly. It's a lovely technique, but it is difficult. So for now, just your thumb on the bass string and your fingers on their assigned string. Let me play this song one more time. Just one last little note I think is important. You want to try and get emotion and expression across. Very difficult to do. But the way we do this is really dynamics, volume, crescendos, which means getting louder, diminuendos, or decrescendos, which means getting softer or getting quieter. And it really turns the song into what just sounds like a technical exercise into something musical. And sometimes also you can speed up and slow down very subtly in a musical way to help get that expression across. I'm going to give you a quick example of what I mean. So I'm going to play this all the same dynamics, and then I'm going to show you the other way. So this is without any dynamics. The same thing, but I'm going to get louder, crescendo, I'm going to get softer, diminuendo, and even speed up and slow down a little bit, but in a musical way. By using dynamics and subtly speeding up and slowing down at certain parts, it just makes it more musical. I always kind of compare it to like the waves in the ocean. You know, the waves come crashing in, then they go out, come crashing in, and they go out. So you want to do that. You want to try, once you get the mechanics, once you get the movement and you're comfortable with it, then really work on dynamics, the volume, and try and get it to sound as musical as possible. And by making it sound musical, it's putting that human emotion into the song. It makes a huge difference to whatever you're playing.